The push for AAA slop costing $100 looks unstoppable at this point. And I don't know about you, but if the AAA industry wants to literally destroy itself in a singular day, then sure, by all means. I mean, I'm losing literally nothing. I don't play Call of Duty. I don't even like it. Most AAA games are garbage. Honestly, I don't remember the last time I even bought a AAA game. Was it GTA 5? Honestly, I'm not 100% sure, but it could have actually been GTA 5 on release. And now I'm gonna buy GTA 6 on release. And I hope it's not gonna be Vogue Slop, even though that hope is, well, fading with extreme speed at this point, may I add. But kinda still hoping that it's not gonna be the worst thing ever. In any case, most AAA studios are absolutely obviously out of touch. They hate us, they openly dislike us, they mock us, they call us stupid, and they think that we're gonna buy their games. We all know the statistics, we have all seen the headlines. No one is buying modern day titles. 13% of all gamers on Steam only have bought a 2025 release game. That is not a lot. That's the reason Borderlands 4 is the dumpster fire that failed. Assassin's Creed Shadows went up the wazoo. Concord was a disaster of a generation. Dragon Age the Veilguard was a complete flop. Ghost of Yotei, the closest AAA Vogue garbage dumpster fire that was almost profitable. And now we have confirmation that, oh, turns out it wasn't. Surprising, shocking. Who would have expected? My, what an unexpected turn of events. Wow, it's almost like everyone with a brain and pattern recognition knew that this is gonna happen. So, if AAA wants to increase their prices when people are already not buying their shit, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
People are sick and tired of paying an arm and a leg for low quality trash, and unfortunately, we've seen that happen a lot in the video game industry over the past couple of years. Team sizes and budgets are going up, while the quality of the product we are receiving is going down, and now we are seeing more industry veterans coming out and saying $100 games are going to happen, and you're just going to have to shut up and consume product. I have a
Oh no, but what if I'm non-binary? I need voice effects. I need sound effects. What if I'm not binary? Pom pom pom. Bet they didn't see that one coming.
few different things to show.
What if I'm a good ally and never buy the shit that I say is good? Oh, the modern audience. I love it so much. Oh, this is good. Never buys it. Good luck.
Off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider
Like the video right now. It takes less than a second, and it does help me, and I appreciate it. It truly does have an impact, so please do it. Every like that you put on the video is gonna mean that 2 new people are gonna watch the video, which is amazing. So thank you for everyone who does it. And if you think that this stuff is important, then definitely like the video right now. And maybe even subscribe. It takes less than a second. Like, come on.
supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I personally think that we should be fighting back against $100 price tags. If games start becoming that high of a cost for standard editions,
Yeah, why would I ever spend 5 Silk songs on trash?
yeah, we are going to see sales going down. And they figure, oh, if 5 people decide not to buy it, but 1 person buys it, well, it'll be okay because we're still making money. But that's not going to happen. We are going to see droves and droves of people abandoning AAA titles because we have a lot of tough competition in the games industry right now. You have Silk Songs at $20 price tags. You have
Base.
Expedition 33s at
True.
$50. Arc Raiders at $40.
True.
There's no way people are going to be paying $100
Again, I think most people have figured out that a video game should cost somewhere between 20 to a luxury of $50. And when I say 50, I don't mean 55.99. I mean literally 50 on the dot. Or 49.99. That's also 50. I think most people have figured out that that's how games should be priced. And everyone else is like, "Oh, let's raise the prices." Bro, I can't afford the house. Do you think because of that I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm an idiot and I'm gonna buy your slop? No.
Dollars for triple A level slop. And unfortunately, that's what we've been getting a lot of. Triple A games are very hit or miss. Sure, every once in a while you have games that come out that are high quality, that are fun, that actually seem like a high budget went into them. But then you get Concords, which cost a $500 million overall, which is insane. You have games like Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League that are losing companies like Warner Brothers Games over $250 million.
Well, Warner Brothers in general are used to losing, so it's okay.
And Grand Theft Auto 6, I believe, is too big to fail. I think it's going to be a success
Same.
no matter what controversies.
I do also think that I have said that, I'll say it again. GTA 6, even if it's woke, it's gonna make money. There is no world where it doesn't. But after that, I think, well, we're gonna start seeing if it's Pokemon status, because Pokemon can do whatever they want, and their fans will still buy used tampons.
Surrounds it. But I think that if GTA 6 is not what we are quite expecting, when they make another Grand Theft Auto game, it's not going to sell as well and they are going to face a lot of problems with their upcoming launches. But we are hearing industry veterans saying that basically you just need to get used to consuming content at a high price. $100 games are going to happen.
Hey, Call of Duty is too big to fail, as we all know. Call of Duty is too big to fail. Too big to fail. Yeah, so, get ready to buy the games for 100. Yeah, no one's gonna buy it. Again, no one's gonna buy it. Even Nintendo fans are slowly looking at Mario Kart being $80 and not having a single improvement but 5 downgrades and are saying, maybe we are low deficiency IQ morons.
As an ex Call of Duty multiplayer creative director, you don't want to be the first person to do it, but all of the publishers are waiting. And I do think that this is true. We saw Nintendo go up to $80 for some titles. That already faced a lot of backlash. Never mind when it goes up by another $20. And there were a lot of companies that tried to follow suit that either did and their titles failed or they backtracked like Microsoft. They were going to charge $80 for the Outer Worlds
Yeah,
2.
Outer Worlds
Then they
2.
faced so much backlash, they reversed course.
Bro, they reversed course by $10. And then they wanted everyone to hail them as heroes. And needless to say, the Outer Worlds 2 is a massive disaster. It literally had less players than Outer Worlds 1 on Steam. And Outer Worlds 1, keep in mind, went to Steam after being an exclusive after like 2 or 3 years. And it still had more people then. Outer Worlds is just... Obsidian as a company is completely defunct. They are hopeless. There's nothing good that can come from them.
They decided to go back down to 70 and they tried to act like, oh my gosh, they were the heroes and you need to praise them.
True.
But it's insane. They thought that that was going to happen. But yes, I do think that publishers are waiting. They are willing to jump at any opportunity given. And some of them tried and failed, but it is going to become the standard that we see games go to $80. At least I think, judging by how much everything is going up right now in cost, I think that they are going to push them to 80. I don't think 100 is going to happen, at least for a couple of years, but this is ultimately their end goal. And we've heard this from so many people. And the other side of the issue is that the media is saying this is good. Titles like Grand Theft Auto 6 need to be more expensive. They are not for gamers. They have not been for a decade at least at this point, and they're never going to change. And this is why these journalists
Why, what the hell is...
are completely irrelevant now because they're not standing with gamers. They are standing with these companies that are always willing to push the limits and just view us as walking wallets. Back in January, the Gamer article had released, and they said it's not a good time to be in the games industry. Layoffs are constant and studios are getting shut down on a regular basis. Games require more time and money than ever, and competition is only getting more intense. Crunch is also still a thing, making developers not just underpaid but overworked. Video games are a riskier investment than ever, and a future of the medium feels uncertain and unsustainable. In a report called The State of Video Gaming in 2025, veteran investment analyst and researcher Matthew Ball of Aphelion looks at a number of industry trends, including how the mobile market is faring, the relevance of emerging markets like China, and the state of AR/VR games. In the last section of the report, titled How Player Time and Player Spend Might Return to Growth, Ball looks at several potential growth engines for the industry. Then they go on to say that
Grand Theft Auto 6 could go woke cry about it. 2023. I kind of wanna read that.
GTA 6 could be pivotal for the industry, but the major issue here is when they talk about price. They say that there is hope that Take-Two will price GTA 6 at 80 or even 100, breaking the arbitrary 70 price barrier we have been accustomed to for several years now, and letting other studios then make their games more expensive as a net consequence. If any game could pull off a higher base price point knowing that players will still shell out for it, it's GTA 6,
Have we heard this?
which is shaping up to be the gaming event of the decade. I can't think of another game
GTA 6 is the game is the biggest. GTA 6 is literally the biggest event in human history. Nothing has more cultural impact than the release of GTA 6. The world's gonna shut down for a week when it launches. You're gonna be hearing everyone talk and play about it. GTA 6 has broken every record with every trailer it has released. Aliens arriving on the world are gonna be less interesting than GTA 6. Anything, there is no greater event in human history than GTA 6 at this moment.
with this kind of cultural cash and broad mainstream appeal that has an actual release date. And obviously, this would make a lot of players unhappy, but they basically say that this is how the industry should go. There's no avoiding it because the way that things stand now, the industry cannot sustain itself on the revenue it's currently making. But the issue here is that the gaming industry needs to tank. We need to see companies ultimately go under. We need to see a shift where double A's become triple A's, indies become double A's, and the triple A companies that exist now either really adapt to player needs or they need to go under. They have been ignoring us for years and they're wasting more money than ever. Games should not cost $300 or $400 million to make. With that type of money, you should be able to make 2 or 3 really good games, because look at something like Claire Obscura Expedition 33.
I mean, the current mainstream media lie is, by the way, that the typical triple A budget is like 100 million or something. Assassin's Creed Shadows officially was labeled at 116 million. I talked about this yesterday, but again, if you believe that garbage, that the AAA games are only 100 or maybe 200 if they're expensive million in budget, I mean, man, you're drinking some extremely good Kool-Aid, my friend, okay? Because if those prices are real, then all of these games are going to be successful. You understand how easy it is actually to break even on on a $100 million budget? Or even a $200 million budget? Like, none of these companies would ever be struggling with anything. They would, like, look at Mass Effect. Mass Effect sold how many million copies? Warner Brothers sold how many million copies? 40 million copies with Hogwarts Legacy. If you sell 40 million copies and your budget for an average game is like, let's say 150 to go down the middle, they have guaranteed literally the development costs for like 20 games right there on the dot. But we're not seeing this. Somehow we're not seeing this. If game, like, again, this lie is so obvious. Because if it wasn't a lie, then no one would struggle to sell copies. Like, the average game developer who has ever sold 10 million copies of a single game would be like, we can make 3 copies, we can make 3 new games now, we don't need to rush. We can literally be Silksong if we feel like it. There's no rush, there's no nothing. We can just take our time, because we have money for 3 or 4 games. But that's not somehow happening. That's somehow not the actual situation, though.
Costs less than $10 million, and it is a masterpiece. You guys need to get with the program and learn to adapt. Stop putting this much money into titles.
Wasn't Clair Obscure 40 million, by the way? Or 30 million?
Stop hiring hundreds to thousands.
And also, I just wanna point this out. If Clair Obscure, let's take just $10 million dollar price tag. 10 million for 30 developers? 10 million for 30 developers? Okay. Most of these companies have 600-ish. Most AAA companies have literally minimum 600-ish people working for them. So that would be a minimum budget of 200K. Most of these companies have 1,000. Some even have 2,000, which strangely actually puts the math at 400 million. Exactly as I'm saying. Again, all of these companies are lying about their budgets. Because it's legal. Again, there's a lot of people spreading misinformation about things like, oh, you can't lie about your budget. You can. It's legal, in fact. It's legal. There's no repercussions for that. Oh, you can't lie about your sales expectations. You can. It's legal, in fact, if you do it the right way. Bro, everyone's like, oh no, these big companies can't lie. Bro, in a normal situation, everyone's talking about big companies constantly lying and no accountability and you can't trust anything they say. But suddenly, for game sales and pricing, oh no, these companies would never lie. Bro, pick a struggle. Pick a lane.
Of people and have smaller, dedicated teams of very passionate and talented people. When you hire based on skin color and gender instead of merits, you are setting yourself up for failure. And gamers are calling them out on this, saying the industry cannot raise game prices to $100 because there's no way they deserve even close to that price tag for 99% of games. Sure, I do think with everything GTA has promised so far, it could maybe warrant a $100 price tag, but we said the same exact thing about something like Cyberpunk 2077, and it took years for them to get to the point where they deserved a $60 or $70 price tag. Never
and now they're woke.
mind $100. In this comment section, tons of people are saying the same exact thing. I hope whoever publishes the first $100 game fails. Publishers making record profits while claiming need to raise prices. Math is not adding up. How about we bring back $40 games? Most new games aren't worth $60, let alone what they actually charge/want to charge. Go ahead though, start charging $100, accelerate the crash of this dog shit industry. Let's get it over with already. F video games.
My man knows what's up. James, my man. James knows what's up, boys. My man.
Which I love the video game industry. I want video games to thrive. I don't want this industry to fail, but I do think that we need to actually see some sort of crash in order for these companies to get better. Clearly, us voicing
True and based, mommy Vera.
our concerns.
Vera, you're maybe not exactly Brie Larson, but you know that. Wink, wink.
isn't working. Clearly, them losing a lot of money isn't working. They need to feel like they are not going to have a company that exists in 6 months if they don't start listening, and that will accelerate change, at least in my opinion. I think that unfortunately, we have to go to the most dramatic end possible. We're just going to find out how to pirate it. How about we stop big gaming? Most are trash anyway, purely visuals and or over complex mechanics. I can't
It was easier for Rome to fall than be fixed.
and the over experience. DLCs are just an excuse for not finishing a game. It'll only work when the games are worth the hype. The rest, everyone will wait for markdowns. And yeah, if you bought something like Borderlands 4 for $100 for a standard edition, you would feel insulted. Imagine if Concord came out and that was $100. You would feel even more insulted than you already did having to pay 40. And yes, I do think that there are a small amount of games out there that people would be willing to pay $100 for, but the rest would just be dead on arrival, and everybody would wait until they went down to $40 or $50 before supporting them. So, yeah, I do think that eventually $100 games are going to happen, and I do hope that those companies totally and completely fail in their plans to milk us for all the money that we have. But
Nice.
right now, the games industry is going through a lot of problems, and I think that this would only make them even worse for these companies. But hey, if they want to be stupid and they want to raise their prices, they can go for it, because then they might learn a valuable lesson that they actually have to listen to their customer base, or they are only going to continue to face major problems and people will boycott their experiences. But that's all.
Anyway, that was very dark. 10 out of 10. Bye.